I did 50 hours of testimony. You had the head of the House Intelligence Committee saying that I had committed treason, a crime punishable by death. So for perspective, I took a 15, 20-minute meeting that everyone agrees was exactly as I stated, 50 hours of testimony for treason. I mean, that's kind of a big one, you know? And that happened in a tiny fraction, a matter of months. There was, you know, I looked at business deals with these people before. They were developers in Moscow. Remember, before we got into the world of politics, we actually built buildings. I don't know what Hunter Biden did before that other than peddle influence because his father was a career politician. There's credible paper trails, millions of dollars exchanged, corrupt regimes, whether it's China, Ukraine, Russia, money tied to human trafficking, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, whatever. Like, you can't even make up, though. It reads like it's a scene out of Narcos, and that's before you get to the Hunter Biden laptop from hell, the lies, the cover-up, the full-fledged interference by not just our mainstream media, not just big tech, but also our intelligence agencies and operatives. It seems that if Don Jr. would have done the things that Hunter Biden did, even a tiny fraction of them, he'd be in Gitmo right now, and rightfully so. The fact that there's barely even coverage of these things, that there's barely, I mean, again, this stuff makes Watergate seem like garbage, like nothing, you know. And I remember during Russia, you know, the Bob Woodwards of the world. This is worse than, you know, every other day was something Trump did was worse than Watergate, even though he never did the things that they said were worse, but they, you know, they created that narrative. Well, where are they now, Charlie? Their silence is deafening because, you know, if you're telling me that we're on the brink of war with Russia, we're funding not only a proxy war, but a boots-on-the-ground war in Europe, what could possibly go wrong, with a nuclear superpower that has more warheads than we do, I'd say that's bigger than Watergate. If we're making decisions and sending $130 billion, and, you know, probably a large portion of the $220 billion that the Pentagon magically cannot account for, you know, we're a corrupt and broken regime if we don't have a mainstream media that isn't even willing to ask the questions, or Republicans who don't want to go all in because they're either a part of it or don't want to know the answers. I mean, if that's not bigger than Watergate, I don't know what is. I don't know what is, but it's happening right now. And you have a president that's sitting in there bringing us closer to the brink of war, can't get through a sentence, but, you know, we're going to keep him in power because the Democrats have taken over every institution in our country, and they've weaponized them and politicized them, just like you see with the further indictments from Jack Smith this week, last week, the week before that, 3 weeks before that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.